Everyone, welcome back to our short videos on business studies. We are in the final area of human resource management, and what we'll be looking at today is staff training and development. Okay, so do you recall what human resource management is? If you don't, here you have it again. It is the process of a strategic approach, right? A strategic approach is a wholesome approach from start to end, from hiring, selecting, recruiting, to preparing employment contracts, to training them, to developing them, right? It's an all strategic approach done to ensure that the organization can become productive and remain competitive. Okay, so now let's look at trying to understand what staff training and development means. Okay, so as a HR person who's working in the HR department, his or her job is looking at, selecting the right person for the job, hiring them, right? Helping the organization find the right talent for the right job, preparing documentations to ensure that they are properly abided to. We call them employment contracts. Now, besides bringing them into an organization, it is also the role of a human resources department or human resources to ensure that the employees are well taken care of in terms of the knowledge and skills that they require, right, to be able to perform in the office environment. Yeah, so this is what we talk about when we mean staff training and development. Okay, to ensure that staff is properly equipped, right, for the right skills. And for this, they would have to go through training. Okay, so there are many ways to educate employees, or there are many types of trainings that employees can go through in the organization. You would have training such as on the job, off the job training, induction training, and also through the employee appraisals or staff appraisals. Okay, in the next slide, we will look at these types of trainings in deeper meaning. Okay, now let's look at how training is defined. It is defined as the education, right? Work-related education to increase workforce skills and efficiency. All right, and as mentioned before, there are many types of training methods that an employer or an organization can carry out for their employees. The first most common one is on the job training for all new hires when they come on board. All right, it's about learning how to do the particular task, right? Because they may have experience doing it already, but with a new environment, new processes and things like that, on the job training is very, very important. And in some places they call this the mentor mentee kind of arrangement, where a senior employee may be put to guide the very new employee on how to get things done in a particular area. All right, so it is an instruction at the place of work on how a job should be carried out, normally carried out in the place of work itself, right? Now, then you have off the job training. Off the job, the word off tells you that it's not done in the office. It is taken or is carried out elsewhere apart from the business organization. For example, there are particular skills that an employee will need to pick up, let's say to develop his or her Microsoft Office, proficiency in terms of building better Excel sheets and information. And this skill is not available in the office, but it's available elsewhere through a different training provider. Right, and for this the employee needs to go out of the office to learn a particular skill, so we will call this off the job training. All right, now thirdly, there is also induction training. Induction training is it happens for very new employees as they come on board for a week or two, or you may hear the word orientation. Okay, now this is an introductory training program to new recruits, new hires, with the systems used, the business culture, the vision and mission of the company. So it's basically introducing the new joiner to the company on the do's and don'ts, the culture, the processes, the systems that they use. So it's normally conducted by HR to welcome or to onboard the particular employee, right? And finally, there's also another method to educate employees, so to get them on track. We call them staff appraisals. Okay, staff appraisals are basically a document emphasizing what are the targets that an employee are expected to achieve, and going through these appraisals on a regular basis, all right, or to have the discussion with this employee allows the employer to explain to the employee what is the gap witnessed throughout the year where the employee has been performing, and what are the areas that needs to be improved, right? So through staff appraisal, the process of assessing an employee, this helps the employee understand the gaps and look for ways to improve those gaps or to close those gaps. All right, so this is where HR will come in to complement by suggesting the right training tools that the employee can use to develop themselves further. So as you can see, training is a fundamental need in most companies, especially in terms of the employee development. An employee who comes in the organization on the first day and leaves after 5 years without undergoing any form of training, all right, whether it's on the job or a new skill to pick up, they leave being the same as they have joined in. So therefore, training helps to educate employees to pick up a new skill, and with that new skill, they're able to execute better performance delivery. Okay, and training is also a way to motivate employees. When one knows more, right, learn something new, they get excited about it and they want to carry it out and they want to show others how much they have learned, and sometimes they want to share with others, all right, what they know, and that sharing multiplies the knowledge they have learned, right? They gain more from sharing because they are sharing what they know by educating others, and by teaching others you learn more, right? So these are all methods of motivation as well, and it is a very good way for employers to show recognition and appreciation through to their staffs through allowing them to attend trainings and things like that. Though some employers find it costly, all right, because trainings, especially if it's taken off the job, right, elsewhere by training providers and things like that, it could be costly for them to spend, and they go out of office for a day or two sometimes to learn about a new thing. And when they're out of office, they're not working, they're learning. And for some employees, they find it a waste of, not only a waste of time, but also a waste of money, because they're not getting anything in return in the 2 days. There's loss of productivity, right, and loss of money, right? And for some employers feel that as employees develop themselves further, they may use that as an opportunity to move out of the company because they have more skills. Okay, so some employees feel that there is a risk in educating their employees too much, or at all for that matter. So read through your notes, your books, and you have more understanding of how training is seen by employees and employers, the benefits and the disadvantages, and ultimately knowing whether or not it is something important for the workforce. Let's look at your recap. These are some of the questions you should be able to answer. What does it mean by training? What are the various types of training methods, and the benefits and differences between on the job, off the job, induction, staff appraisal, and so forth. And even though it's not here, you may want to consider, the benefits of having training, right, to the employer, and the benefits gained by the employees. Consider those points as well to be analyzed further. And these are most common questions that could be asked during the exams as well. Okay, so this marks the end of today's lesson and the end of human resource management for AS at least. All right, you have questions and concerns, please email them to teach@savage.com.my. Like, subscribe, share. Share with me your feedbacks if you have any, so that I can improve my delivery in the upcoming videos. Thank you and all the best. Have a nice day ahead.